Why is one of the world's most valuable resources to the modern economy sitting completely untapped within the United States, while countries like China have gone literally around the world in order to secure it to help their own economies? Cobalt is one of the most valuable resources in the world, and it isn't hard to see why. With the element used to construct everything from planes to batteries to electric cars, its value has skyrocketed over the past decade. But when it comes to the world's cobalt supply, China has effectively cornered the market, and now many in the West are sounding the alarm over just how much control the CCP has over a market that defense officials call one of America's greatest security vulnerabilities. And is there anything America can do to break their monopoly? Well, roughly 70% of the world's cobalt extraction comes from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. But over the past 2 decades, the Communist Party of China has poured billions of dollars into the cobalt industry, buying up mines across the Congo and building transportation networks as part of China's Belt and Road Initiative in order to process the element and get it to market. And as a result, about 80% of the DCR's cobalt supply is under the control of Beijing, with Chinese companies effectively controlling 15 of the country's 18 largest mines. So, does this mean that China is actually poised to capture the entire global market on rare earth minerals, and can the United States do anything about it? Well, there is one state in America in particular that could deal a crippling blow to the CCP's monopoly on minerals like cobalt. And it's a state that you might not guess: Idaho. Now, when most people think of Idaho, you might think of potatoes or maybe beautiful landscapes and ranches, but the state's official nickname is actually the Gem State, and for good reason. Since the mid-19th century, Idaho has been one of the most prolific mining states in the country. And while there's a lot of gold reserves still waiting to be mined today, most attention is beginning to shift to Idaho's cobalt reserves. And now I want to bring your attention to this one small mining town in Idaho, ironically called Cobalt. It's sitting on one of the largest cobalt deposits in the country. So, problem solved, right? All America has to do is begin mining in Idaho and we meet our cobalt needs. Well, there's a problem. You see, Cobalt, Idaho is entirely surrounded by federally owned land. In fact, over 60% of Idaho is owned by the federal government. And federal regulations on mining cobalt are so extensive that some of the state's most promising mines could take as long as 8 years just to get approval to begin. If the United States doesn't start getting involved in both the mining and refining of rare earth minerals, we will find ourselves in a situation where the materials critical to an advanced economy and military are being controlled almost exclusively by a communist regime determined to expand its power and influence at any cost. And America is in a strategic position to change a lot of this. The question is, will the same politicians shouting the loudest about a new green economy be the very same people that ensure it never happens by drowning it in bureaucratic red tape and rampant cronyism?